Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the channel and welcome to this week's GT Sport Daily Race C race review from Dragon Trail Seaside, where we are taking the Group 3 machinery around for the first Daily Race C of 2022. 12 laps to get round, fuel consumption at times 2, tyre wear at times 6. Racing soft and racing medium tyres available, both of which are mandatory. If you've seen the strategy guide, then if you start in the soft tyres, 6-7 laps in your softs, then onto the mediums. If you start in the mediums towards the back of the rear, like we are going to do in our first race, then 4-5 laps, or even 3 laps if you really want a huge undercut, was the strategy of choice. So we are on the American server. We very often jump on the American server on Monday night. I tend to find the EMEA lobby just a little bit sweaty on a Monday night. I've seen some of the fields that were presented to some of the sort of mere mortals out there, and yeah, I didn't really fancy battling for like P12 and P13 most of the races, so I thought jump in the American server, jump in the Genesis, one of my favourite Group 3 cars, and just see how we are shaping up in this one. And to be honest with you, these American lobbies, or American region lobbies, were actually very strong. We had a 60k DR driver on our US account, and we were only car number 8 in this race, so fairly strong, all things considered. Maybe not in the best car for the combination, but the Genesis always surprises me. And to be honest with you, no surprises, or sort of no different here in this race as well. The Genesis seemed very strong. Certainly not a Supra or an FT1, but definitely up to the job. I think it would be interesting to see what some quicker players than myself could manage in this car, because I think it's got a lot of potential. So midway through lap number 1, and you can see it's all a little bit congested. Been a few minor bumps and bashes amongst some of the drivers in front of us. We've got Hellsfire in front of us again. We've seen him the last time we did a race on the American server, or a race review. So he is streaming at the moment. A World Tour player, incredibly quick, and he is in the McLaren F1. Obviously hoping to get some overtakes done through the straight line speed of that car. Down into the last turn we come. We've got the Brazilian kind of just poking their nose up the inside there, so we kind of left a little bit of space on the apex just to let them through. I don't really see the point in that move a lot of the time. You see a lot of people going for moves into the last corner, but you just end up then being under a lot of pressure down the main straight. But we're not going to go for the move here, I don't think. Just sort of popping out here to try and see where the braking zone is, and getting through turns 1 and 2 relatively cleanly. In fact, no, we get slightly borked on the exit there, and that allows another Brazilian to go up the inside. V1B Racing 1. So down to 14th position. Bracing there, going to go a little bit wide, and then going to get a bit of a concertina effect. We're going to hit him there. He seemed like a bit of a dangerous driver. We kind of brushed past him on the exit of turn number 4 there, and we're up to P12. So yeah, as expected, a little bit messy over the opening stages, but it's got to be expected at this track, as there is obviously a lot of slipstreaming here, and yeah, everybody's fairly evenly matched as well. So a fair bit of battling and elbows out moments are to be expected in the early stages of this one. So up to P11 now on lap number 3, and we're about to see the Chicane of Souls doesn't only just claim when you hit the barrier, the soul can reach out and claim you even when you're least expecting it, as the Raxa driver there looked to at least have about a foot of clearance from the Chicane of Souls as claimed by the barrier. I'm guessing just the fact that we're in a different region, maybe that car not quite on the track where, in actuality, of where it was because of the ping. So coming by the pit lane here, now this driver behind us, DRH Boost, seemed to be a little bit quicker than us, and only half a second going down that main straight. I had a funny feeling they would go for the move into turn number 1, so I decided to peel off into the pits and sort of try and save myself a little bit of time rather than battling with Boost there. So pitting fairly early, on all fairness, on lap number 3, but the Hyundai is pretty decent on the tyres, and I was fairly confident we could do 9 laps on the softs on this car without too much of a problem. Definitely going to be suffering towards the end, but yeah, that's just the risk you take when you pit as early as that. So coming into the last corner here of lap number 5, Boost, who had pitted a lap after us, gets the slipstream down into the last corner and goes for the move. I didn't really think it was a great move in all fairness, not because it was a bad move in itself, but just costed us both time because obviously I'm now going to get the slipstream down into turn number 1. Had I wanted to go for the move here, then again we'd just be losing more time. But I just decided to give him a little bit of a bump draft instead. At the end of the day, we're still fighting against other drivers who are still to pit at this point, so minimising time loss is always my number 1 priority in those kind of situations. And coming down towards, I think this is turn number 7, we have Hellsfire, who has pitted at the end of lap number 5 in the McLaren, making the move down there as well. So this kind of early undercut, we did get the positions boost, but we're kind of now starting to lose the positions through the drivers just having slightly fresher tyres, and we're about to lose another one as well. Again, the Chicane of Souls, not my favourite piece of racetrack in the world, I must say, and we've got, I think it's a Peruvian driver of Yoko just behind us now. Again, goes for this kind of bleed the nose into your kind of braking zone move into the last corner. Again, I don't really see the point in that when you've got a huge straight like we're about to drive onto here. Just hang fire, get a better exit, slipstream down the main straight, saves both drivers time, because again I could go for the move here into turn number 1 or make an attempt on the move into turn number 1, but I just didn't really see the point because I've already lost enough time with the kind of somewhat clumsy move into the last corner. There's a big group of cars up there, I want to stay in touch with them and take advantage of any misdemeanours that are about to happen up there rather than getting embroiled in a battle into each corner. This driver now here was actually beginning to annoy me a little bit because now starting to defend fresh air. And again, there's 5 cars up there, I just want to get up to them, Joko or Zhouku. So yeah, stop defending fresh air, let's get working together and get up into fight with them. But he wasn't getting the message, even though I was just staying on the racing line, not looking to make any kind of move. He kept going defensive into all those corners. Gives you an interesting look into the mindset of a driver sometimes. Obviously this driver's maybe used to people going for moves like that. I'm a lot more conservative maybe than some other drivers out there. It's not the sort of move I'm going to go for unless I've got a clear speed advantage or I've got, you know, a clear tyre advantage, and that's just not a move that's going to be beneficial to either of us. Slamming it down the inside there, probably braking somewhat out of control. We'll have a little bit of a bump and a grind and we'll come out of the other side of it in some kind of formation or fashion, but we've probably lost a second and a half in the process. I just don't see a whole lot of point in that kind of driving. Anyway, the kind of defensive driving from the Peruvian has allowed manufacturers to catch up with us in the GTR, and I think they're on even fresher tyres than anyone. I think they actually maybe pitted as late as lap number 7, I'm not entirely sure, but they're in the GTR, obviously very quick in a straight line, that car, and kind of difficult to defend against it, but impossible to defend against it when you get bumped into the Chicane of Souls there. 2 drivers in front of me made very slight mistakes, we drive into the back of one of them, absolutely nothing we could do, and we lose a further position. So down into P11 now. This early pit stop has not worked out whatsoever, but they're still battling up ahead, there's still a big group of cars up ahead. The manufacturers is going to make a somewhat forceful move on the Peruvian into the hairpin. We could have went side by side through here, absolutely no point in that whatsoever, but the Chicane of Souls has claimed somebody else, Daddy's Cup apparently, has not paid his child maintenance, I don't know. I'm just talking rubbish now, but Chicane of Souls has reached out and decided, yeah, you're coming with us, and then famous Chicane claims yet another soul. So another driver here appears to be suffering with tyres as the Vortex driver. Thought about going up the inside there, was a possibility. The move was kind of on it, we decided to just try and get a better exit, get to the ideal line as we come up to the Chicane of Souls, and we have the slipstream from the Peruvian to then slip by the Brazilian there, and that's us up into P number 9. Lap 11 now, the laps have ticked down in this one. We've got the slipstream here as we come on to the main straight, so I'm now thinking, okay, there's a yellow flag out as well. This could be interesting. We could actually get a PA out of this if we can maybe go for the overtake down into turn number 1. So we've got a good slipstream here from the Supra in front of us. Hyundai, not too bad on a straight line, not sure what the hazards were all about. We go to the outside line, we're kind of slightly forced onto the grass, but as soon as we pull out of the slipstream, the Supra's top end is just no match for, the Hyundai's top end is just no match for the Supra, and we kind of have to brake a little bit early, and the Vortex driver throws a cheeky one up the inside. To put it politely, I would maybe call it something a little bit else. Wasn't happy with that one. We're on the flashers at the moment, flashing away up here as well. Not sure it's not showing on the screen, but we were certainly on the headlights. I was looking to try and get a bit of a revenge dive on the Vortex driver there, but not to be. But a nice race. It was good fun, lots of close racing with other drivers, and yeah, an intense race to say the least. Not the result we were looking for, but yeah, good fun all the same. So we jumped into another race. This race was, I think, 2 races later. I think we did 3 in total. So that was the very first race we had done, and this was the 3rd race. And to give you the backstory in this one, it was a relatively boring race for the majority of it. A little bit chaotic in lap 1. We kind of came out around about P9. There was a 2-second gap behind us, but all the fighting had meant we could really do a whole lot about the cars in front of us. We pitted on lap 4, and the car behind us, I was actually 3 seconds behind us at one point, and has been closing up on us gradually over about the last 5 or 6 laps. Coming through the chicane of Souls here on lap 11, we're not going to get it quite right. We put the car into the wall. I see the Brazilian driver in the Peugeot RCZ has got the run on us. I didn't see any point in defending that. Be kind of gentlemanly about it, if you like, and I sort of live to fight another day down the main straight here. So we should be able to get a good run on an RCZ in the Hyundai down this very long straight, slipstream assisted, and as we cross the start finish line you can see big speed difference. We go to the inside here, which gives us a kind of shorter line for turn number 1, and as we brake here we kind of go to turn in as normal, and the first I kind of realise that the Peugeot RCZ is there is the moment I hit them, and as we exit turn number 2 I get a massive oversteer moment as I correct the car. My kind of front left hits his rear right and spins him around. Now, just looking at this one in slow motion, if you were both, what I don't like about this move from the RCZ is he hasn't actually attempted to outbrake me. He's actually broke at the exact same time, and then just as we get to the turning point, he bleeds his car into that space. So I don't know this driver is here until this point, because when I've kind of started my braking, I've looked at the radar. He's not closing up on me. I think, okay, he's going to back out of that one, or he's not going to be alongside. But then, just at the last moment, he comes off the brakes a little bit, bleeds the car into that zone, and we make contact here. Now, he is trying to leave space for us here, and as we come round the trajectory of the second turn, you're going to see the big oversteer moment we get here. It does actually look like a turn into him from this point of view, but that's just me trying to correct the car as the back end steps out. Pretty big contact with the RCZ, and around the Brazilian driver goes. Now, I'm not a big advocate of this kind of, if you spin somebody out, you wait for them. You know, it was a racing incident. It was an accident. It's my bad, I guess. I lost control of the car, hit his car off. I wasn't hugely happy with the move they'd made anyway. You know, I'd acted like a gentleman into the last turn when he had the run on me. I was looking for a little bit of respect back from in the same kind of manner from the Brazilian driver, but he decided to just bleed his car into my what I thought was my apex. You may well disagree. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's why I wanted to include this little incident. A lot of people see that move from the RCZ as being absolutely fair, and so don't feel like you have to agree with me. You know, if you think I'm in the wrong there, then I'm more than happy to hear about it and discuss it in the comments. But yeah, I never realised that car was there until I was on the first apex of turn number 1. As I said, I looked at the radar, they weren't there, I turned in, and yeah, we have a bit of a unfortunate moment for the Brazilian. We pulled, obviously managed to keep the position, not so bad for us, but yeah, let me know what you think of that one. Hopefully you've enjoyed that video. If you have, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye now.